If you clicked on this video, it wasn't by accident. The very moment your eyes caught the title, the subtle pull you felt to click, and the fact that you are hearing these words right now, that is synchronicity at work. It is not random, and it is certainly not meaningless. This convergence of your attention and this message is a small glimpse into the vast intelligence that orchestrates reality behind the scenes. Most people think synchronicity is just coincidence, a fun word for lucky breaks or curious patterns. They shrug it off as chance, something to smile at, but not take seriously. But synchronicity is far more than that. It is the living proof that your life is being guided, that there is a language spoken by the universe itself, and that language is only heard by those willing to listen. Think of a time when the right person appeared in your life at the exact right moment, when you stumbled upon a book, a song, or even a single phrase that answered a question you had been carrying in silence. Were those just accidents? Or were they the fingerprints of an intelligence beyond ordinary comprehension? Synchronicity is not passive. It is not something that merely happens to you. It is an active dialogue between your consciousness and the quantum field of infinite possibilities. Each synchronistic event is like a message, an invitation to see that reality is not as fixed and random as it appears. Instead, it is alive, responsive, and deeply connected to your inner state. The more awakened you become, the more these synchronicities multiply. Why? Because your awareness acts like a magnet. When you elevate your consciousness, you begin to resonate at frequencies that the universe can more easily respond to. Some people live in this constant flow, as if their days are strung together by miracles. Others rarely experience it because they dismiss it, resist it, or live unconsciously. This first chapter is about opening your eyes to see that you are already in conversation with the universe. Every so-called coincidence that stirred your curiosity was a whisper from the field, guiding you closer to who you truly are. And the fact that you are here, right now, listening to this message is the clearest evidence of all. This is synchronicity in action, alive, intelligent, and waiting for you to recognize it.
To understand synchronicity, we must first understand one of the most revolutionary discoveries in modern science, the quantum observer effect. In quantum mechanics, the act of observation is not neutral. It doesn't simply reveal a pre-existing reality. It actually determines what reality will manifest out of the infinite possibilities available in the quantum field. In the famous double-slit experiment, scientists discovered that subatomic particles behave like waves when left unobserved, existing in multiple states of probability at once. But the moment a conscious observer looks, the wave collapses into a particle with a definite position. In other words, the very act of observation alters the outcome. Consciousness doesn't just witness reality, it participates in creating it. Now imagine this principle operating not just in a physics laboratory, but in your daily life. Every time you focus your awareness, you are collapsing possibilities into actual experiences. The thoughts you dwell on, the emotions you feed, the beliefs you reinforce, these are the lenses through which your consciousness selects which version of reality comes alive for you. This is why two people can live through the same event but experience it in completely different ways. Their inner states are shaping different outcomes from the same field of potential. Dr. Dean Radin and other researchers in the field of noetic sciences have shown that human consciousness has measurable effects on probability, random number generators, and even biological systems. Your mind is not trapped inside your skull. It extends into the field, interacting with reality at levels you cannot see with your eyes. This is the deeper mechanics of synchronicity. When your heart and mind are aligned, when your awareness reaches what physicists like Amit Goswami call quantum coherence, the universe begins to reflect the state back to you. You stop merely watching life unfold and start shaping which experiences come to meet you. This is why synchronicity feels so magical, so impossible, so outside the laws of ordinary cause and effect. It doesn't obey the rules of linear thinking because it operates in a non-local field where everything is connected beyond time and space. When you focus your consciousness with clarity and authenticity, the field responds, not randomly, but with precision, delivering experiences that mirror your inner state. So the question becomes, what are you observing? What reality are you reinforcing with your attention day after day? Because every glance of awareness, every story you repeat to yourself, every emotional state you feed is a vote cast in the quantum field. And reality, faithfully and without judgment, reflects it back to you.
Most people think synchronicity begins and ends with noticing coincidences, but the truth goes much deeper. Every synchronistic event in your life has been set into motion by a greater intelligence, what many traditions call your higher self. Your higher self is not some distant entity. It is the expanded version of you that exists beyond the limits of your physical body and linear mind. It sees your life not from the ground level, but from the mountaintop, where past, present, and future are woven together into a single vast tapestry of purpose. While your conscious mind often gets caught in immediate problems or desires, your higher self is guiding you along the path of your soul's evolution. Carl Jung, who first introduced the term synchronicity, noticed that when people stopped trying to control every detail of their lives, coincidences with deep meaning began to multiply. He believed that synchronicity was a bridge between the conscious mind and what he called the collective unconscious, a universal field of wisdom and memory that connects all human beings. In moments of synchronicity, your higher self is using this collective field to send you signs, guidance, and sometimes even warnings. Think about the people who have entered your life at the exact moment you needed them most. Think of the opportunities that seemed to appear out of nowhere, or the obstacles that redirected you towards something greater. These were not accidents. They were orchestrated intersections designed by your higher self using the universe as its canvas. From a quantum perspective, your higher self is operating in the realm of superposition, where all possible versions of your future already exist. The synchronicities you experience are the breadcrumbs, the markers that show you which timeline you are currently aligning with. Follow them, and you move toward the path of highest growth and purpose. Ignore them, and life often feels heavier, more random, more disconnected. This is why it is so important to pay attention to the patterns and signs that stirs something deep inside you. That stirring is recognition. It is your higher self saying, "This is the way forward." And when you begin to trust these moments, when you stop dismissing them as luck, you start to realize that your entire life is one grand synchronistic design. A design that is leading you, step by step, into the fullest expression of who you came here to be. Once you understand that synchronicity is not random, but intentional, The next question arises: how do you actively create it in your life? The answer is both simple and profound. By aligning your inner state with the reality you wish to experience. Most people unconsciously generate synchronicities that reinforce their limitations. They wake up thinking about their problems, replaying the same fears, and energizing the same old narratives. The quantum field, ever responsive, reflects this focus back through experiences that match those vibrations. This is why life feels like repetition for so many people, because it is. Their attention is recycling the same patterns into existence. But when you shift your focus, when you deliberately choose to observe possibility instead of lack, opportunity instead of limitation, you begin to collapse entirely new outcomes into form. This is the secret behind manifestation, and synchronicity is the universe's way of showing you that your alignment is working. Take a simple example. Imagine you are contemplating a major change in your life, perhaps leaving a job that no longer fulfills you. The moment you begin aligning with this possibility, synchronicities arise. You overhear a conversation about someone making the same leap. You stumble upon an article that speaks directly to your situation. A stranger mentions an opportunity that feels tailor-made for you. These are not coincidences. They are responses to your energetic shift. Quantum research shows that when your thoughts, emotions, and intentions enter a state of coherence, your electromagnetic field becomes more organized, more powerful, and more magnetic. In this state, you are literally broadcasting a clear signal into the quantum field. The universe then responds with synchronicities that match your frequency. Spiritual traditions have always taught this. The Taoists called it Wu Wei, effortless alignment with the flow of life. Yogic philosophy describes it as being in Dharma, living in harmony with your soul's purpose. Modern science now confirms what the ancients intuited. When you align with truth, reality rearranges itself around you. Creating synchronicity does not mean forcing outcomes or demanding instant results. It means cultivating the inner state of the version of you who already lives that reality. When your frequency resonates with that future, synchronicities act as stepping stones, guiding you from where you are to where you are destined to be. The universe is already fluent in the language of synchronicity. The real question is, are you ready to become fluent enough to participate consciously in the dialogue?
One of the greatest challenges in working with synchronicity is learning to trust its timing. The universe does not operate according to your calendar or your expectations. It moves according to rhythms far more intelligent, weaving countless possibilities together in ways your conscious mind could never fully plan. Many people begin to experience synchronicities, but quickly fall into doubt. They see signs, receive guidance, but when outcomes don't appear instantly, they assume nothing is happening. They return to old habits of control, impatience, or fear, and in doing so, they interrupt the process. But the truth is this: synchronicity requires trust in divine timing. Think of nature. A seed planted in the soil does not sprout overnight. It requires darkness, stillness, and a season of unseen growth. Only later does it break through the surface. The same is true for synchronicity. When you align your energy, the field immediately begins responding, but the results often emerge gradually in ways you cannot yet perceive. Quantum physics provides a parallel. In the field of probability, countless outcomes exist simultaneously, but only one collapses into physical reality at a given moment. The delay you experience is not absence. It is the process of alignment, the wave of possibility collapsing into the particle of experience. Dr. Joe Dispenza often teaches that impatience is a form of resistance. The moment you begin questioning, where is it? Why hasn't it shown up yet? You are broadcasting a frequency of lack. The field responds faithfully, giving you more experiences that match lack. Trust, on the other hand, broadcasts sufficiency. It says, I know it is unfolding, and I remain aligned. And the field mirrors that certainty with synchronicities that guide you closer to your goal. Spiritual wisdom echoes this truth. The Tao Te Ching reminds us, nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Synchronicity is never late, nor is it early. It always arrives precisely on time, at the moment when your soul is ready to integrate the message or step forward. So how do you practice trust? By learning to celebrate the small synchronicities along the way, instead of obsessing over the big destination. Notice the little signs, a number sequence, a phrase in a song, a stranger's words, and allow them to reassure you that the process is alive. When you stop demanding results and start trusting the flow, synchronicity accelerates. Because trust is not passive, it is the most active frequency you can embody. It tells the universe you are ready to receive, not with fear or impatience, but with confidence that everything is unfolding exactly as it should.
To live in synchronicity is to live in alignment with the universe itself. It means no longer seeing life as a series of random events, but as an intelligent flow, one in which every encounter, every delay, every opportunity carries meaning. When you align your inner state with this flow, you stop struggling against reality and start moving with it. In Taoist philosophy, this is known as Wu Wei, or effortless action. It does not mean doing nothing. It means acting in harmony with the deeper current of existence. Imagine a river. You can fight against it, exhausting yourself, or you can learn to navigate with its current, allowing it to carry you farther than your effort alone could ever achieve. Synchronicity is the river. Alignment is your boat. From a quantum perspective, living in alignment means that your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors are coherent. They communicate the same signal to the field. Neuroscience confirms this through the study of heart-brain coherence. When your heart rhythms and brain waves synchronize, your nervous system enters an optimal state. In this state, your electromagnetic field becomes more organized, more powerful, and more magnetic. This is not metaphor, it is measurable science. And when you live in this coherence, synchronicities become natural, frequent, and precise. Think about what happens when you are misaligned. You may want abundance, but you speak constantly about lack. You desire love, but you fear rejection and push people away. You dream of growth, but you focus on obstacles more than possibilities. In these moments, your signal is inconsistent, and the field reflects that inconsistency back through scattered results. Alignment corrects this. It harmonizes your signal, making your life flow more smoothly, more intentionally. Examples of alignment appear everywhere. A musician who loses track of time while composing, an athlete who enters the zone where every move feels effortless, a teacher who speaks words they didn't plan but realized it was exactly what the student needed. These are moments when alignment with the field dissolves the barrier between self and universe. Living in alignment does not mean avoiding challenges. It means facing them with the awareness that they are part of the flow. Obstacles are not detours. They are synchronistic interventions redirecting you toward a higher path. When you live in this state,
you begin to notice something extraordinary. Time itself feels different. Life feels lighter. Opportunities arise naturally, and even difficulties carry a sense of hidden order, as if the universe is saying, "Trust me, I know the way." This is the gift of alignment. You stop demanding life to obey your will and start collaborating with a greater intelligence. And in that collaboration, you discover that synchronicity isn't the exception, it becomes the rhythm of your existence.
One of the most empowering steps you can take on this journey is to learn how to recognize the language of synchronicity. Because yes, synchronicity has a language, and once you begin to understand it, life itself becomes a conversation between you and the universe. This language reveals itself through signs, symbols, patterns, and timing. Numbers are one of the most common forms. Seeing repeating sequences, 1111, 222, 333, are not random. They are synchronistic codes. Each sequence carries meaning, amplifying your awareness at exactly the moment you need to pay attention. Ancient traditions believed numbers to be the architecture of the cosmos, and modern physics confirms that mathematics is indeed the underlying language of reality. So when you see a number repeatedly, it is the field speaking in the most universal language it knows. But the universe doesn't only use numbers. It uses animals, songs, books, even strangers' words to communicate. The hawk that flies overhead may remind you to rise above your current perspective. The butterfly that appears during a difficult transition whispers of transformation. A random song on the radio might contain the exact phrase you needed to hear. These are not accidents. They are deliberate synchronicities, carrying messages your higher self has prepared for you. The challenge is not whether the signs exist, they are everywhere. The challenge is whether you are awake enough to notice them. Most people dismiss these events as meaningless, but those who learn to listen, to read the language, begin to live in constant dialogue with the field. Mystics throughout history practiced what they called second sight, the ability to see not just the physical event, but its deeper significance. When you develop this ability, you stop living reactively. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this trying to show me?" And that single shift in perspective transforms every experience into a potential revelation. So start paying attention. Keep a synchronicity journal. Write down the signs that stir something inside you, even if they seem small. Over time, you'll notice patterns, and the language will become clear. You'll realize that the universe has been speaking to you all along. You simply weren't trained to listen. And once you begin listening, synchronicity becomes not just occasional, it becomes your constant guide.
There is a level of mastery beyond recognizing synchronicity, beyond even creating it. It is the state of becoming synchronicity itself. At this stage, you no longer chase signs or wait for miracles. You embody the frequency that generates them naturally. Your very presence becomes a catalyst for synchronicity in the lives of others. Strangers feel uplifted in your company. People receive clarity simply by speaking with you. Opportunities align not because you searched for them, but because your energy field broadcasts coherence so strongly that the universe reorganizes itself around you. This is what the great mystics and teachers of history demonstrated. When Jesus said, "I and the Father are one," he was describing this state of unity where individual consciousness merges seamlessly with universal consciousness. Buddha experienced it under the Bodhi tree when he dissolved the illusion of separation and became one with all existence. Science describes it differently. calling it universal mind or non-local consciousness, but the essence is the same. You are no longer separate from the intelligence that orchestrates reality. You are it. Modern research by Dr. David Hawkins showed that individuals who reach certain levels of awareness emit a field so coherent that it influences thousands, even millions of people around them without a word being spoken. A single person living from true alignment has a non-linear effect, rippling synchronicity outward into the collective. And here is the most liberating truth. This state is not reserved for saints or sages. It is your natural state when you release resistance, dissolve fear, and live authentically as who you truly are. When you stop striving to get synchronicities and instead allow yourself to be the frequency of love, truth, and coherence, synchronicity flows effortlessly through you. At this level, you stop asking for guidance and start being guidance. You stop searching for purpose and start radiating purpose. You stop waiting for miracles and start living as the miracle itself. And perhaps the greatest synchronicity of all is this one, that you are here, now, receiving these words at the exact moment your soul was ready to remember this truth. It was not an accident. It was not chance. It was the universe, through synchronicity, reminding you of what you have always been.